Hi guys. Guess who? I know it's been quite a while, and that's because I didn't want to do another video that wasn't uplifting and wasn't positive. If you guys look back on my very first video, which is hard to believe this close to 2 years ago, I didn't even know other people were videoing. All I knew is I couldn't believe what was happening to me. The worst of it is was never on video. I wish I had had my now ex-fiance to continue to video it, because it was so beyond horrific. Trying to cold turkey Klonopin after 15, 16 years, whatever, because I didn't really know better. Don't ever do that, because it almost killed me. I was taken by ambulance one time and in the ER a couple other times, and prayed for death every single day for over 2 months. But when I set up, and the first video is really bad. Some people are finding it, and I've had some recent comments on it. It's really bad, terrible lighting, and I was just trying to warn people. I just wanted to help people. I didn't want anybody else to suffer such senseless, unimaginable, unfathomable horror that I was experiencing. I had no idea at the time the magnitude of people that were out there going through this. I just knew I had to video what was happening to me and try to start telling others, about benzodiazepines. And that's what I did. And, from the very beginning, it's always been about trying to help other people. Then it became more of, like a documentation of my story, to make sure that it's one more story that's told as I saw other people were telling theirs, but still with the same goal in mind, to share my story. And as people were starting to tell me that, that they related to what I was saying, or that, they didn't feel so alone because other people were going, they were going through the same things that I was expressing. And once I changed, the name, as I grew more subscribers, I decided to change the name to Benzo Butterfly. It was another reason for giving people hope, because I was experiencing still then a lot of windows and waves. And I know some people don't believe in videoing the waves, but to me it was important in showing and how it showed hope, because you can feel like you're gonna die one day, and but you'll get through it, and then you'll have your window, and that'll get you through to to prepare for the next wave. I even made a video called Windows and Waves. So and I continued to show, like say the good, bad, the ugly, and share a lot of personal stuff, and which I'm certainly known to do, have been known to do way too much on Facebook lately, and I know that doesn't go over very well. I'd never done Facebook Live before, and but you just get to such points of desperation and just wanting people to listen and hear you, you know, and you're trying to understand what's happening in your life. And I think that's why I'll probably, you know, entitle this like something like just reflection, or wishing, not reflection, but, you know, just wishing that family and friends or people that have known you for so long, certainly your children or your parent or a brother or sister or whoever, could really remember, you know, who you were before benzo withdrawal. And I think I've mentioned this before, but, you know, we certainly would give anything to be who we were. And it's not that we're, you know, not, you know, I know my heart and soul haven't changed from who I was before. But I can't control a lot of things that are happening to me. I can't control, you know, like I said, my issue was insomnia, you know, so many years ago. So I never had the experience with such, I had never had a panic attack or such severe anxiety or all these other things. And then all of a sudden you find yourself, you know, in this this dark pit that you can't, and it's so frustrating because, you know, you've always been so strong your whole life. You've always climbed out of every pit you've ever been in, and this is one that you know, it just seems like, you know, every time you do a little bit, somebody kicks dirt in your face, you know. And but there's so much of it that you know, yes, you can, you know, there's more that you can do. There's some of it you can control by trying to do all the right things and diet and pushing yourself as hard as you can to go for a walk, or, but sometimes, you know, a lot of it you just can't control. I mean, even if I get in a car and drive, like I did briefly today, you know, I didn't feel a smidgen of normalcy, you know, whatever we define normalcy as. I define it as what I used to feel like before this. You know, so, and someone might see you and it's, you know, you seem sort of kind of okay, but, you know, I was able to see my grandson for only about an hour and a half here Tuesday night, and, you know, you just have to, you're dying inside. You just have to fight it so hard because you want so desperately to have that time. And at the same time, inside, you just feel so cheated, and you know, and you're angry too that you can't really, you know, visit the way you want to, or you're having to fight so much to keep so much inside. And, you know, when you just feel like just screaming, and you want to try to have a, you know, some sense of normalcy around, you know, my older son and my daughter-in-law. And so, you know, you just do the best that you can. But there's just days that's just not possible, you know, no matter, because you guys know, you've seen my videos where I've said, you know, I went out today and walked on, and I started out this day not thinking, you know, thinking I was only going to crawl, you know, but I fought through it. And, you know, I've stayed on a very strict diet. I've tried to do everything by the book, if you will. I'm not a reader. I can't concentrate right now on reading, so I haven't read the books that are out there that have been written by survivors. But I've taken all the you know, the advice of people as far as you know, the do's and the don'ts, and tried to do everything right. And not everybody does that. I've had people tell me, well, I'm not, you know, I'm not willing to give up this, I'm not willing to give up that, and or you know, and I understand that, and I don't judge anybody's decisions on, you know, how they best want to get through this, but for me, I've really tried to just do everything that I feel is going to keep my body as strong and healthy as possible to fight, all the physical symptoms, and certainly the especially on those days where you feel so lethargic and weak and dizzy and but anyway, but it just seems like you just want people to look and realize that you have been fighting so hard, but yet people don't want to stick in for the long haul, and I can't help that this is something that might take another year or two. I know people that are, been going through it longer than I have. I wish I could help that. I'm doing everything to try to do the best that I can and help myself. None of us can help that this is what happened to us. This is the illness that, that was, I don't want to say that God decided that we would go through. I know God's the only reason that I'm still here. I've certainly been crying out to him all day today. But, all I do know, and I know this gets said so many times, but you just have to keep saying it because it's the truth. I know, and you guys know, and those of you who are struggling with family and friends, and I post something on Facebook and hardly anybody comments anymore. And the ones that do are people that are going through this, or Benzo friends, because everybody else has walked away. Everybody else is just says they're overwhelmed, and they're just they don't know what to do or say anymore. I have had two different friends that actually have showed up. One is helping me as far as keeping in touch and talking to me, and regularly. We used to go to church together at the church my kids and I grew up at. I didn't grow up there. The church I raised my kids, where I had a music ministry, and she's been amazing, and but that was because I basically put out kind of a plea on Facebook. You get to the point where you put your phone number on Facebook and like, hey, if anybody's here that lives near here, could you please stop by? And I've lived in this county in Georgia since the early 80s. I know so many people. I know hundreds and hundreds of people. And you put that on your Facebook page, and I don't have hundreds of people on my friends anymore on my Facebook page. But still, it's like, and not one person calls. I take that back. One angelic of a person called that I used to go to church with a few years ago at a different church. But she moved to Florida, and she's older, and had just had hip replacement surgery, and she saw my post. And we were in life group together, but it's not like we were close friends or anything. She's just always supported me on Facebook through this, and never in a million years would I dream that that's who would call me. And that's the one person who called me the day I pleaded for anybody, to come by here. And I have family close by here. I have you know, my children's in-laws close by, and it's like everybody goes to church on Sundays, and you know, but it's like, oh, there's Shelly again, pleading and desperate for help, but whatever. It's like, I don't know. I can't explain it anymore. I don't know how to explain it. I can't. I just can't. I'm so tired of trying to comprehend it and come up with answers and plead and beg people to get it, or not to get it, but just stop saying that you can't possibly understand or you don't know, because all you have to do is go to YouTube and put in benzo withdrawal and you can watch hundreds of videos. You know, you can Google it. You know, you can, I mean, there's so much out there that there's no excuse anymore to just act like, you know, this is exaggerated, or you know, or we're making it up, or I'm just one person that's obviously overly dramatic, and it can't possibly take this long, and all the crap that you constantly hear. So I'm just over hearing that excuse. Well, people just don't know, and they just don't understand, and you know, I don't understand. You know, I don't have any. I've never walked in anybody else's shoes with any other severe illness, but my point I was trying to make is, that has to be said again. We all know if we had, you know, the C word instead of this B word, it'd be a totally different story with who was in our lives, who would be supporting us, who would be making meals for us, who would be keeping up with our schedules and doctor's appointments and taking us to our treatments. And, you know, I don't even think my children know my doctor's name. And that would be totally different if you had, you know, if you had cancer, you had Parkinson's, you had MS, you know, even people with diabetes that don't even take care of themselves. I know people like that, and, you know, that refuse to, you know, they refuse to watch their weight and don't eat right. I've seen it with my own eyes, and you wonder why you're diabetic. You can't do that. You can't be that, you know, carry that much weight, and you can't eat like that. And but yet they get worse because they're not taking care of themselves, and they go to the hospital, and they still have all this support. And if they need surgery, they've got church bring, you know, or you have someone. I have someone in my sort of extended family, and, you know, just survived cancer, but started smoking again. But if they were to get cancer again or need surgery or whatever, then they'd have the same kind of support, even though it was likely because of, you know, and I'm not, don't get me wrong, you guys, I'm not trying to pass judgment on anybody who, you know, doesn't eat right or exercise or whatever, but I'm just trying to make a point. You know, it's like we didn't do anything wrong to ourselves. We weren't abusing our medication, we weren't abusing our bodies, we weren't being this or that, we weren't, you know, God didn't give us a miraculous healing and then we basically spit in his face by, you know, well, I'm going to go, you know, take up that habit again, even though I was healed of, you know, of what caused it. I mean, we're not doing things like that, but yet we are getting, you know, we're not get, what are we getting? We're getting, you know, everybody just walking away or evicting you from where you're living. And I'm sure my son's been waiting on this video because he figures Mom, but you know what? I haven't been making videos because I didn't want to make one that was like another, you know, one where people are like, dang, when is Benzo Butterfly or when is Shelly ever going to get her life together? Well, you know what? Shelly's been trying really, really hard and fighting really, really hard, but you know, this isn't something that you can just be thrown to the wolves, you know. I mean, I know some of you say that you have nobody, that you're doing it all alone, and I've pretty much been doing. I was doing that too for a big part of the time in my apartment. I'm not not for a while. I had my neighbor that helped a lot, and but for months, and a lot of the time, it was just me, and then my son would come, when he could, but I would go. I went days on days on end without food. Sometimes I went. I think, you'd go like a week and a half without being able to get in your car, or some people can't drive at all. But, I don't, I guess I sit here tonight, and it's like almost 1 a.m, and I'm suffering with really, really severe insomnia, and you guys know what insomnia does to even, what insomnia did to you if you ever had a restless night's sleep before this. I struggled with severe insomnia since my mid-20s. Doctors aren't going to try to find out why a perfectly healthy, athletic, avid runner just stopped sleeping. Just 15 years later, they started putting me on, pills after I tried all this natural stuff and over-the-counter stuff, and, so, I don't... Anyway, I guess, I'm not even really sure what the point is of this video. I just felt I needed to say something because, I'm just tired. I'm so tired. I'm just tired. I don't want to give up, but I'm tired of fighting with people, and not fighting, but I'm just tired of the struggle with people and family, and and my own son that I've always been so close to, and I've got to sit next to him in court while I get evicted from my home. And so Tuesday I had to go to court, and now it's like this paper says, this crazy judge is like, I'm supposed to be out next week. Actually, I'm supposed to be out in like 3 days. Yeah. Because there was a picture that was painted of me that I was, like I'm some kind of monster, that I've been throwing furniture, and yes, there's been some screaming and slamming doors on both ends, but that was because of like my last video said, I felt extremely alienated, since being here, and my son was trying, but it just led to a lot of just agony and anguish and stuff, and that comes with the territory with benzo withdrawal. People don't want to look at your symptoms and go, oh well, my son would always say he would understand, Mom, I know it's not your fault, but actually I guess he didn't mean that, because I'm being blamed for everything. I'm being blamed for tearing their lives apart. I'm being portrayed as someone that they have to be fearful of staying in the house, so they haven't been staying here in almost 5 weeks. And that was the picture that was portrayed to the judge. This is why we haven't been staying here. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It's an outright lie. And I hate to say that, but it's a lie. I'll admit to anything. I'll admit to some screaming and some slamming of doors. And one night that even my son was helping me, he thought I was having a stroke. and I had flipped the coffee table over on its with my foot, and I barely remember it, but flipped the coffee table over on its side. But it was another one of those nights where I was feeling that way, but that's not throwing furniture around. It's not like, I keep my part of the house really nice, and I'm not breaking anything, and I'm not, there's no holes in walls and that kind of stuff, and so it was not an accurate depiction by any sense of the word, and he knows that, but he's going along with whatever he's been convinced to do, in part. To just best get his mom out of this house. And what really doesn't make sense is, I've been told they're going to put the house up for sale after all, because they got way in over their head and way too in debt. And that's personal information I shouldn't be sharing, but it's not going into any kind of detail, but the house is going to be sold anyway, so it's like, but I can't stay here until the house sells. And then I was going to go to my mom's, and now my mom's changed her mind because she can't deal with it either, because she only lasted a month the last time. That's why I ended up in my apartment and then here with my son. And when she suggested it, she doesn't have the space right now. Anyway, she's using her 2 spare bedrooms for major storage. And my mom just doesn't like to get rid of stuff, And she's always been that way. It's just the way she is. We live very differently, and she's more of a stuff person, and I'm not, and I don't know. And you kind of just want to feel like you just wish you would matter enough. Like maybe you would matter more than stuff, or maybe you'd matter more, at least as much as a dog or a cat. The one upstairs, she cries all the time too, because nobody's ever here with her. So I don't know. Like I said, most of you didn't know me before benzo withdrawal, but a lot of you saw me when I was certainly doing much better, and made very positive videos, and so I think you could see more of who I am and the person I am, and we're able to get more of a glimpse of certainly who I was before this process. But somehow your family chooses to lose sight of that, and here's the thing: if they make that choice to block out all the good mom that you were, the good daughter that you were, if they just block out all the good out of their mind and out of their hearts, then that will allow them to be able to do what they're doing, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to do it. They have to block out the person that you were before, the person that they truly know. They have to block out all those little special things that you did for them. They have to block out how you raised them. They have to block out that you're part of who they are today. That you did have a part in their success, and as you supported them through their dreams and everything, as a parent is supposed to do. And we all make mistakes, but whether I die tomorrow or 20 years from now, 30, whatever, I don't want to be 30 years, I don't know. I know I was a good mom. I know my son would not have brought my grandson over here Tuesday and would not be telling me he loved me if I wasn't a good mom. My youngest son would never have had me live here with him and wouldn't have been coming by the apartment all the time to help me if I'd not been a good mom. So this I don't understand. I can't understand how you then walk away and turn your back and you don't want to check in, or you want to come by and grab your mail every few days and stay for just a few minutes and not acknowledge me. And it's been almost 5 weeks. He tried to talk to me a couple different times, but I knew at both of those times, I could tell by his tone that I told him I was afraid to face him and didn't know how I was even going to see him, and was afraid to talk to him, and knew it was going to be very matter-of-fact about when I was supposed to be out. So I got scared, didn't talk, and you know, that's stuff like that is all that stuff you do, or those decisions you make. It's, you know, thrown up to you, and even that at first I guess he was gonna maybe consider seeing if I could stay till the end of the month, but when I found out they were selling the house anyway, that caught me so off guard that I didn't have the best response, because it's like, this makes no sense. Why would you put us all through this? I don't get it. And I know this is really personal stuff, you guys, but a lot of you guys have known me for a really long time, and you've seen what's been on Facebook and stuff, and it's kind of hard to get to everybody individually. People who have private messaged me and want me to keep them posted and all of that, and I guess I continue to share this such a personal part of this journey because of how this drug, it just destroys and takes everything. I mean, it does. It's capable of that. It's capable. It changed my fiance into somebody that I didn't recognize. And, you know, there was absolute abuse. I've never exaggerated or lied about anything that I ever said that he did. I have forgiven him. I would speak to him again one day if that ever was possible. I mean, came about. But I think he would. I think if I brought up anything, he wouldn't lie about it. I think he would admit it. He just, you know. But he didn't want his life. I was holding back his life and his dreams. And, you know, and he just didn't. He didn't want to. He didn't want that. And he didn't want to stick in it. So, and I wasn't volunteering to just, you know, walk away. I wanted to get us counseling, and I kept begging for counseling and trying to understand it all. And so, what's the best way to then just start scaring somebody away? And that's what happened. So, you know, this changes us, certainly in a lot of ways, in our perspective on life. It changes our perspective on just appreciating every little thing, whether it's a dandelion in the grass that pick up and make a wish on, and it has a totally different, you know, meaning than it used to. You know, even when you blow on it and all the little flakes, petals fly, it even looks differently. I'd made it to, since I haven't been having any help, you know, when I can, I have to, you know, force myself out. I've not been able to make it to a Walmart in weeks, and I finally did. I mean, I had to. You know, you need your toothbrush and your stuff that, I mean, you know, the stuff that you just go to Wally World to get, you know. And I normally go to self-checkout because I have an EBT card. If you don't know what that is a food stamp card. And I'm not gonna lie, it's very humbling for me, and I get embarrassed to use it through the regular checkout. So I try to not get you know, and because I try to eat a certain way, and so I buy my organic greens, and I feel like, well, but I'm not buying, you know, anyway, you almost feel like people are gonna look at you like, really, you're gonna buy, you know, almond butter and organic greens with a food stamp card? But I don't buy a lot. I eat very basic but healthy, and I shouldn't worry about that. I've already been told by friends, you know, hold your head up high and don't worry about that, but that's just the way I am. And they make the card this really bright fluorescent green color, and I mean, when I go to the self-checkout, I like put my hand over it so people aren't seeing it, because that's just the way I am. But it hadn't reloaded, so I didn't have any money on it, and I went through the regular checkout, and I thought about going to self-checkout, but it was pretty backed up, and I found a checkout that was looked like it was going to be pretty quick. Only had one person in front of me with a few things. Well, the person that was checking out had all these gift cards, and they weren't scanning, and they had to get a supervisor to hand key in each gift card. And so anyway, it ended up taking forever in a line that I thought was going to go really quickly. And you're in there and you're sick and you don't feel well, and you're just like, and I can remember back in a time where I would have been like, you know, just getting flustered and just feeling like, oh gosh, you know, you always pick the wrong line, Shelley. And I can remember saying that kind of stuff, like, good grief. Not that I'm, you know, necessarily angry at the person checking out, you know, unless they're just being rude to a cashier or something, but it's just like frustrated. But I just, you know, and the same with driving, you know, someone cuts you off, and I've never had road rage, but I'd still be like, you know, say out loud, like, you know, you could have signaled, or, you know, oh, you're welcome for letting you go, or, you know, just, I would do that kind of little stuff, just get frustrated with people's rudeness and that kind of stuff. But not anymore. Now, if I catch myself doing it, I mean, I'll apologize to God, you know, like, sorry, well, I didn't mean that, God. I'm not upset, because I'm just so grateful that I'm driving, you know, that I don't want to take that for granted, and I don't want to be out like complaining because someone, you know, cut me off in traffic or was rude. And the same thing about being in line at Walmart. It took so long, and I just waited, and I was just, and every time I'd think about getting flustered or frustrated, I just would be like, nope, because you're here, doesn't matter. And when I got to the checkout, the lady said, she was like, boy, she says, I hope nobody else has any gift cards for a little while. And I was explaining to her how, I said, hey, it is okay. I said, I'm just so grateful to have driven and be here right now that, you know, it didn't matter. But, you know, that's just another point I'm trying to make about, as far as just being so grateful and appreciative of every little thing. And I don't know about some of you guys, but I've almost forgotten what some things used to feel like before this. you want so desperately to feel like you just want to wake up one day, and because even on a better day, or a window of a day, you know, there's still so many things that aren't right, and you still don't feel even close to normal, that like I don't really feel like I even remember, you know, but you just know you just know you weren't feeling like this. You just know you weren't going through anything like this, but it's like, what did it feel like? Anyway, I just want to say, I've had such, if you guys can't find me, I've been silent on Twitter too up until a couple days ago, but that's where I usually am most active, because I have a huge support system there, and it's just so important to me to be a part of this international, you know, awareness and advocacy. So I'm Shell_John on Twitter. If you ever get concerned, and I had people on there as concerned as well, and I know people have been here. I just want to thank you guys so much for how supportive that you have been for so long, and because I'm really not so sure I'd really be here right now without so many people from this community. I'm not going to lie and try to act like everybody's incredibly supportive, but you just try to understand that everybody's going through their own, you know, stuff, you know, with this. And in fact, I had somebody who wasn't responding to me on Twitter, and it really hurt my feelings, and this person told me that they just got overwhelmed with my story, and you know, on Facebook, and were angry at my family, and just felt they needed to back away. And the thing about that, it's like, you know what, the last person I need in my life is someone else to back away, because to just kind of deliberately just, you know, not acknowledge someone anymore. You don't have to be in the middle of anybody's drama to like a tweet or something, or just kind of let someone know you're still around. So it was really hurtful, and I had a really hard time with it, because I don't think we need to be hurting each other, especially when you know someone's already hurting so deeply and going through something like this, you know, with family. As far as where I'm going to go, I have no idea. And I can file an extension, but I have to do it by Tuesday, but that costs $407, which the court will then in turn pay to my son for as long as, I mean, however long it takes to go to state court. And I don't know when that would be, you know, when a state court date would be set. And, but I can't afford to do that, you know, so, you know, I have an income of $791 a month, thanks to Benzos. So 407 of that is, I don't have that much left, you know, after I pay my expenses and the things I need to best survive this. And, you know, you got to buy toilet paper and stuff, you know, things that your EBT card doesn't cover. So, so if I don't do that by Tuesday, then legally they don't have to, but legally they would have every right to get a sheriff's involved and then it would likely be like another, the judge told me like another week or so before they'd actually start setting my stuff out on the curb. So, uh, Stacy, I don't know you, and you only recently started commenting, so I don't really feel like I even have known you through this process. Some people you've really come to know as a good friend. I have one really close friend. Jennifer, if you're watching, I love you, and I'm sorry I haven't called. I know you'll be watching. She's one of my first people that kind of reached out to me by email. She doesn't comment or something or do social media, but so I think we kind of been in this together the longest, and she's having a really tough time too. But she's not in a situation where she could offer me a place to live. That I would maybe consider, because she's like a sister to me, and it's only about 7 hours away. Because what you guys need to remember too, when someone says, well, come live with me in the middle of the country, in the Midwest or whatever, I mean, I'm in Georgia, and if it's a total stranger to me, you know, I don't really know, I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't really know how to respond to that. But my grandson is here. You know, my boys are here, and I might not have a relationship with one of them right now, which still shocks me, like, beyond. It just, like, it cuts to the core, you guys, because we've always been so close, and it just doesn't make any sense. So, and my other son, he's just not you know, he doesn't talk much. He doesn't know he just doesn't really know what to do or how to deal with this. And they have a very, you know, small, tiny 2-bedroom house in Atlanta, downtown. You get a lot less for your money when you go to the city, you know. And it's under renovation right now, their kitchen and stuff, so they're not staying there right now. But you know, my grandson, you know, I don't want to leave my grandson. So it's one thing to maybe like go from Atlanta to, you know, Florida, or at least, you know, northern Florida or Tennessee or Alabama, or someplace where you could still just get in the car and say, you know, I'm going this, you know, gonna go spend a couple days in Atlanta and, you know, spend some time with my grandson and my children. So honestly, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I'm not scared, because I am. And I can't even believe, I cannot believe what's happening. I look back on my life, I think a lot of us do, and it's like, how is this even real? You know, because we took a medication that our doctor prescribed. This is what's come of our life. Some people end up homeless. They lose everything. You know, you lose your health, you lose family, you lose your livelihood, you can't work, you lose your home, you lose your belongings, and I had just bought furniture for down here. I couldn't really afford it, and it's not paid for. I'm making payments on it, but so that I could try to make this space as much my own and not bother them, you know, that much. And I'm trapped down here so much, so I got, you know, I bought a recliner, and I didn't even have a coffee table or end tables, and I had nothing in the, it's not really a kitchen, you know, but in there I bought a little rollaway, like little island, you know, so I'd have a place to make my protein shake and place to set groceries. And I just, you know, that was just a couple months ago, I just bought that stuff, and now I'm gonna have to just basically sell it for nothing, and, you know, just try to frantically sell my stuff. And oh God, it's really scary, because I'm not really sure what to do. You know, and every time I hear I also got under a 3-year contract with ADT for a security system here, so there's $52 a month that comes out of my my account, and I'm stuck with it for 3 years. With no home but a security system to keep me safe, right? You know, but every time I hear system disarm, you know, and I know that that means they're coming in, and a few minutes later I hear, you know, system arming or whatever it says. They come in, out, and no acknowledgement, you know. It's like you've just been kind of just left to wing it. And I don't know about you guys, but if anybody knows how to wing benzo withdrawal, please let me know, because I haven't figured that one out yet. What I do know is I was doing a lot better when I was in my own place and wasn't under such, I mean, it was bad, but you guys know I made regular videos. I made some, you know, some good, some bad, and here I just had to stop because it's been so bad. And I wasn't going to just be one of these people that just keeps making a bunch of whining, crying, desperate videos. I didn't want to be that person, you know. I didn't want to be that person doing this one. But it's like, you know, well, you just need to kind of just let people know what's going on. And, you know, I mean, a lot of people are praying that do know what's going on, but it certainly doesn't help to have more. Certainly for sleep and strength, because like today, when things happened again with my mom, it was just like, I was like, I'm just done. You know, you just feel, you're just done. It's like, I can't do this anymore. You know? It's like, I don't even know if I'm going to make it to my birthday on October 3rd. You just feel like, I don't even want to make it to my next birthday. I'm just so tired. So yeah, there's, yeah, I have to look at this. Telling me I need to be out by Tuesday. And I just moved in April, the third time I had moved in 13 months, and now I have to move again and get rid of all my stuff, I guess, and I don't know where I'm going. I have no idea. I just don't want it to be far away. If I have to sell everything and then maybe find a tiny storage place that I could keep you know, I have things that I do care about, you know. My oldest son turned 30 on July 28th. And I was so sick. I was so sick. So I couldn't really do anything special for him like I would normally have done. But I thought, well, the most special thing I could probably do for him is, I sat here, I found a cheap VCR at Goodwill, and I sat here and I went through video after video after video, VHS tapes. And, you know, both my boys are musicians, you know, and I had some incredible videos of him when he was 4 years old with his little toy guitar and his little light-up amplifier, you know, singing Achy Breaky Heart. He was obsessed with Billy Ray Cyrus, and he would do entire concerts, you know, word for word, motion by motion. And so I went through tons of videos, and I found a couple priceless ones. And I just set up my phone in front of the TV and videoed it on my phone, and then posted them for his 30th birthday. And I know he doesn't say a lot, but I know it meant a lot to him. And those are the kind of things I've always tried to do, you know. Try to do something to make people feel special, or just try to do something that's really meaningful. You know, I don't want to go out and get my son a shirt for his 30th birthday. I wanted to do something special. And so those are the kind of things, you know, you can't walk away from. You don't want to walk away from your box of memories and your photographs and your things that your kids made when they were little in school that you still have in a big tote. And there's, you know, report cards, and, you know, you can't walk away from that stuff. I don't care about knickknacks. I don't care about things in a curio cabinet. I don't care about things that collect dust. I don't care about a coffee table. But I care about those kind of things, you know. So you gotta have a place to put them. And unfortunately, with my insomnia, I'm not someone who can live in my car. I would definitely never sleep. You know, I need my room darkening curtains and my white noise machine for my tinnitus, and to even stand a chance. So that makes it more terrifying, because, like, think about, oh my gosh, even if I go to a shelter, how I can't even sleep here in a queen-size bed, you know. It's terrifying. Yeah, but I could be dealing with it. I could be dealing with it all if it wasn't for going through this. I have on my this was the campaign for World Benzo Day on July 11th. This was the t-shirt that they did this year, because this is how we all feel, you know. We do feel invisible, but the way they designed it was so great, you know, because we feel invisible, but we are so very visible and tired of feeling invisible, and are being made to feel invisible by the medical community, by family, friends, and whoever. And so this is the t-shirt that the coalition supported, Gobble Films, and Holly Hardman, who's doing working on the documentary As Prescribed. And so I think if you go to Ink to the People, my Beware Benzos shirts, those came from Sazzle when World Benzodism Awareness. I have a bumper sticker too, and I don't think you can get all their previous stuff anymore that they had on Sazzle, but if you go to Ink to the People, I think you can still get these. I have a blue one in a different style as well. All the money for that goes to the making of the documentary As Prescribed. So anything that you buy, just know that it is going to such a incredibly worthy cause. I'm really symptomatic right now. Not, of course, not as bad as sometimes, but certainly not doing so well. And yeah, I don't even know how long I've been talking. Oh, I think I've been talking for an hour apparently. So, who knew? I didn't. I guess I had a lot to say. So, but it's been a long time, and I probably won't make a video for a while. Certainly won't make another one this long. Sorry that it went so long. I really wanted my next one to be encouraging and positive and uplifting. Just didn't turn out that way. And I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't. I will say that if you have support, if you have one lady reached out to me on Twitter, and she said she felt bad for my situation, and she said you know, she said my husband and my children were so wonderful. She said she was bedridden for 7 months, and she said all I had to do was concentrate on getting well. She said that's it. I didn't have to do anything else except concentrate on getting well. And I think, wow, how much better would a lot of us be if maybe we had that kind of support where that's all we had to do. We didn't have to worry about anything else. We didn't have to worry about our meal, our bills, or any shopping, or just how we're gonna. I mean, because we were being cared for as we should be, you know. I mean, I'm certainly not bedridden. I'm quite opposite. Once I get out of bed, I can't go back till it's time to try and sleep. I developed some kind of weird phobia. I can't take a nap anyway, but if I try to lay down, it totally freaks me out. But anyway, so if you have that, you are blessed beyond measure. I'm not saying that I don't feel like a blessed person, but I do believe there's a lot of circumstances that can make this even much more difficult to you know, to get through. As far as my hair, a few weeks after I moved in here, it just started all falling out, and I'm sure it's the stress. I just had to chop it all off, and so yeah, it's don't feel like myself. You already don't feel like you already feel like this kind of robs you of your, you know, your identity and everything, you know. But and then, you know, I've always kind of been identified by, you know, my singing and my hair, and can't really sing anymore, and then your hair goes, and it's like you just look in the mirror and go, who the heck am I? I don't know who I am anymore. But you do, but you don't. You guys understand. So I didn't realize that I've been talking so long, and so I'm sorry. Those of you who see that this is a hour-long video, if you don't want to watch it, I don't blame you. So it's going to take it quite a while to upload probably, but I guess I should stop and try to make some kind of effort to sleep. I know it's been a while, so I know there's, you know, probably a lot of comments. Honestly, you guys, when I think about it, there's so many other things I could talk to you about, but that would be another hour, and you guys are already going to need to pop some popcorn for this one. So, but if I don't get to your comments for a while, I think it's pretty self-explanatory in this video why. And I will at least try to let someone know that I'm still here, okay? The best way to usually find that out is Twitter or Facebook, especially probably more so Twitter. I'm also on Instagram as Shell_John, and sometimes I just yeah, because I like to really give everybody the respect, you know, that comments, and I don't want to just like each comment, but you know, I like to speak to everybody, you know, and if I don't feel that I'm in a place where I can really be doing that and get too overwhelmed at the thought of doing that, and you know, then you know why. Or if I do just go through and just like all the comments, that's just to let you know that, hey, I'm still here, but I just can't really respond right now. So we'll just leave it at that. So, but I'm sorry that I caused a lot of concern with everybody. But it's been, yeah, it's been hell to say the least, in so many, many ways. So anyway, with that, I wish you guys the best, and I know that a lot of people are just gonna be, you know, say stay strong, hang in there, and I get that. I do. I think sometimes we get a little frustrated with seeing that, but sometimes there's just really not a whole lot else you can say, right? So I don't take offense to any of that kind of stuff. Just, you know, I do think in certain aspects, I know, you know me, I say I'm going to stop talking, then I keep talking. As far as people that are in your life that could be like coming to see you and have known you forever, to just keep saying on Facebook, praying for you when I know that you live 10 or 15 minutes down the road, that's what's really hard. Because it's like they say with all these other kind of tragedies in the world, it's like sometimes it's just, you know, the thoughts and the prayers are, that's great, but we could be doing more for each other. And I'm certainly, there was quite a few suicides in the Benzo community last month, just that we know of. And, you know, so yeah, you might be someone who could help prevent another one, you know. So, all right, you guys, God bless, and thank you again for your love, your concern, your prayers, your outreach. You know, even the offers of a place to live. I hope you understand my feelings on my situation with my family, and so yeah. Anyway, just be good to each other, okay? All right. Hopefully, talk to you soon with some positive information. Okay. God bless. Bye.